Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Tinashe Mujera, and I'm here to invite you to something truly special. Authentically Woman will be hosting a transformative webinar titled A Journey to Discovering You. This event is more than just a webinar. It's a healing circle where women of faith can come together to explore self-discovery through the lens of our Christian beliefs and teachings. We'll delve into what it means to truly know ourselves, guided by biblical wisdom and the love of our faith community. In these uncertain times, it is easy to lose sight of our true selves. But together, we can find our way back to the heart of who we are, rooted in God's love and purpose for us. This is an opportunity to reflect, to share, and grow in a safe and nurturing environment. I truly believe that when women of faith come together, miracles happen. So join us for an evening of connection, inspiration, and spiritual renewal. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery together and support one another. And we have something special just for you. We believe in the power of sisterhood, and we are offering a special promotion. Bring a sister along and she can join in for free. Yes, I said it, for free. Simply use the code WOMAN777 when you book your tickets on Quicket. But hurry, because the offer is limited and spots are filling up. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Tinashe Mujera. I'm an author, I'm a marketplace professional, and I'm a woman of God. I am a representation of tested faith. I represent my healed wounds that left ugly scars. This is the Faith in Action podcast that has been created to help you find the journey to your true self through conversations and lessons shared. Good day, everybody. Hello once again. I do not know what happened there. I think we had a technical glitch of some sort. I don't know what the enemy is trying to do, but he will not win. We will not allow him. Welcome to the Faith in Action podcast with me, your host, Tinashe Mujera. Super excited about today because we have a very exciting guest that I really am looking forward to hearing from and to glean from the wisdom that she carries. Before I get into that and before I forget, I just wanted to remind all of you about the Authentically Woman webinar that is coming through, titled A Journey to Discovering You. I hope you all are getting your tickets on Quicket, because I don't want last minute, please, I didn't get my ticket or it's full. Please do make sure that you get your ticket. It's 150 Rand only, and you get to bring a sister for free. That means it's 75 Rand per person. Please, please, please sign up and let's embark on this healing journey together. It's going to be exciting. We've got beautiful guests lined up to speak to us, and I really look forward to seeing you there. Now, let's get into the meat of today. As I've already said, we've got Ronel Prinsloo, guest for the day. And she's going to be talking and touching on sacred mothering. An interesting one, I must say. I think we always hear about God the Father, and we always relate to God as our Father, which we should. But I think sometimes, or rather most times, we never give justice to looking at God and his nurturing side as a mother to us. I mean, scripture does tell us that he is the father to the fatherless, but it also says he is the mother to the motherless. So what is that mother aspect and what does it look like? And Ronel is here to share all of that wisdom with us, touching, of course, on her own personal life and the things that she's been through, and how she is mothering in this day and age, and how that is relating or translating into her relationships, her family, how she raises her children. She is a kingdom business entrepreneur. She owns a company called the Nuttery, which she'll speak a little bit into. She's also a wife. She's a mom. And. So there's a lot to unpack, for about her. But I will leave it to her, and of course, allow the podcast to run itself. So without wasting time, guys, please help me to welcome Ronel Prinsloo. Ronel, welcome, my dear sis. Welcome to the Faith in Action podcast.
Thank you very much, Tina. Glad to be here.
Awesome. I'm honored. And I just wanted to express that I'm really grateful that you've made time to, make it to the shore. I know you're a busy woman. I mean, so many touches. You got kids to take care of, got hubby to take care of, and other things that you need to be looking after, regards to your business. But you made time to be here with us at the Faith in Action, on the Faith in Action podcast. So we truly appreciate that, my dear sis. And we look forward to hearing from your wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. Alrighty. Who is Ronel? Who is Ronel? We just know she's the founder of the Nuttery. What is the Nuttery? Who is Ronel? What does she represent? Please, can you tell us or introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit more about yourself apart from what I've shared?
Sure. So, Tina, I'm really so grateful to be on the show today, and hopefully share my pearls of wisdom that I had to do some deep diving to go and get in life. And so, like I shared with you earlier when we had our conversations, that you don't have to have it all together to be a whole person. With regards to my background, I do come from a previously disadvantaged background. We grew up in Cape Town, in some of the most dangerous suburbs. And so I've had to learn how to be street smart, and how to make my way through life without having all the background, the education, and the experience. And so that is a place where I can create sustainable businesses. And this is not my first business, so I've learned along the way what it takes to make it out in the world. So that is a little bit about my background. And as a mother, I will be sharing about that experience as well, especially coming from a background where I had a good upbringing, but at many times I felt abandoned and left to my own devices, and had to grow up quite quickly in order to just survive, as a child growing up. So that's a little bit about me.
Sure. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Ronel. You talk about making something out of nothing. And it's always interesting because we hear sermons about something out of nothing, and I just want you to unpack that for us and what it really represents in your own life, and for someone that's listening, what they can get just from that phrase, something out of nothing.
I think it really, for me, what it symbolized, it needed to start with who I was, my identity. So it wasn't that there was nothing, and then I needed to find my true identity. And as I shared with you as well earlier, the first time I was, or I realized my true value was when I was so lost as a teenager. I failed my matric. I felt like I had no future, and I was in a stranger's car, and I, in my heart, cried out to God, and I said, "Are you real? Are you there? If you are, then change my destiny." Because I knew that the life I was living was going to end up in a really bad place. And so at that point in time, I really felt that God reached into my world, and He as I said, became a gentle figure in a hard life that I've had. He was like a sacred mother to me,
Mm,
not just a
mm,
father, because at the time
mm,
my perception of men was that they were controlling and that I didn't have a voice, and I just needed to be obedient.
mm,
And so having receiving that love, um, it really did change the direction of my life, and that is when I believed that I could actually do something and become someone at
mm,
that point. So that was the
mm,
turnaround point for me. It was I would say, an intervention, a
mm,
spiritual intervention. So something had to
mm,
happen inside of me. I wasn't self-motivated, but I needed to become inspired, and
mm,
inspiration is so much
mm,
more powerful in our lives
mm,
than motivation, because
mm,
motivation is always an external force having to pull us in a certain direction or push us.
mm,
Whereas inspiration, when the Holy Spirit came into our life, into my life, was when something changed, when I
mm,
realized that I had worth and I had value. And as a woman growing up in a difficult and hard place, I could be like that weed that pushed through that hard ground, and I
mm,
could still bloom.
mm. Wow, 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 Ronel. You are on mute. I'm not sure. There we go. Wow. Powerful. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I can't imagine that encounter where you screamed and you said, change my destiny. Um and then you said then you experienced the father as a nurturing, as that sacred mother in your life. Do you want to just touch a little bit more on that? What was that encounter? Was that your first experience of God? What happened? Who ignited that fire in you? How did you know that there was this God that could change your destiny? And when you say he touched you as a sacred mother, what did that feel like and what did it mean for you?
Um, so I grew up in a Christian home.
Mm,
Um, I grew up with Christian parents. My dad was a church planter and an evangelist, and my mom was very active in the community.
mm,
She, up until today, is an undertaker, and so she has
mm,
her own business. And
mm,
um, during the time, it was a very religious period where, we had certain way we needed to dress, and we were forced to go to church, which, look, our kids, we also take them to church, but it was just it didn't feel like a relational
mm,
experience. It was really very religious and hard. And
mm,
so change came, like I said, when I felt a sense of worth inside of me, like
mm,
like I was worth being rescued,
mm,
and that's what that actually came alive inside of me, and
mm,
so and I have a very sober way of looking at myself now
mm,
because of my upbringing. So
mm.
I, like the Bible said, don't think too highly of yourself and not too lowly either. And
Yes.
so it's really, these experiences that we go through, they do shape us, so that I have a very strong personality. Being the
Mm,
firstborn, I had to take on a lot of responsibility at a young age to mother my siblings, because my parents were very active in the community and they were hardly at home. And so, there was cereal every other night we had to cook, you know, and I had a lot of resentment in my heart because of that towards them.
mm,
I
mm,
felt taking care of the community, but you should be caring for us. But I do understand the times were different then, like it is now. They didn't get it right. And I'm not going to
mm,
get it right as a parent, as a mother either. So
mm.
that was the turnaround in my life, really. Yeah.
Amazing. And that secret mothering aspect that we always talk about God as God the Father. And I mean, I can relate to God as a father figure. And then then there's a scripture that says he's a father to the fatherless, but he's also a mother to the motherless. And
Mm-hmm.
it's that mother nature of God, or rather that aspect of God that resembles the mother aspect. What did that look like for you? I mean, I want to understand more from you what that experience was and what it meant for you. And maybe to someone that's really listening right now or is going to listen later on, who probably has a mother wound or who doesn't know how to experience or has never experienced that motherly love. Maybe they were born and the mother passed on, when they were younger, or they just never had a good relationship with their mother. What does that mean for them?
I think sacred mothering, to a large extent, it's about self-sacrificing. And I know
Mm,
that is not popular in our modern society, modern day world, with
mm,
the spotlight being on me. It's all about my comfort. And
mm,
sacred mothering, as I see in God, our Father, is about sacrificing.
mm,
Like he sacrificed his own son. And as a mother,
mm,
we do sacrifice so much. Obviously, even single moms, I, I really can't even imagine the pressure
mm,
and the expectation that's laid upon a single mother to be able to be everything to that human, to create a whole person. And so I feel that God has set an example. He's given us a
mm,
way and shown us a way out, even when we
mm,
do feel like we're not enough.
yeah.
And so the Sacred Mother in God, I could have, I could accept him more
Mm,
easily than if he had been God the Father to me
mm,
at the
mm.
time. At the
Sure.
time, I needed God the Mother,
Wow.
to say, "You are my child. I love you. You are so valuable to me.
Wow.
Had plans for you before your parents even knew you.
Mm,
He took time to knit us together in our mother's womb, and he has such great things in store for us, and he only has good things for us.
mm,
He doesn't want to add harm to our lives. So
mm,
realizing that, it really helped me to become a better mother.
yeah.
My firstborn, she was born in hospital, and I really wanted to have the full experience of birthing a child. And
Mm,
I unfortunately didn't have that with my first child. But my second child, after it was difficult for me to fall pregnant, I was told I couldn't have kids because of PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome.
mm,
But then my second born, I said I'm gonna have him at home. I want the
mm,
full experience. He was a bridge baby. I didn't know.
mm,
So
mm,
I said, you need to help me and deliver this child. And it was the hardest thing I've ever experienced, birthing a
mm,
bridge baby and them having to turn him without any medical intervention. So
mm,
the sacrifice of wanting to birth this child at home and really feeling the pain and sacrificing my comfort
mm,
was symbolic of what God goes through for us. I feel that
sure.
still he's still suffering because of the state of this world. And I think
Sure.
we, as mothers, and as women, we need to be open to suffering, to
Mm,
surrendering our comfort, so that
mm,
we can make a difference in the world, so that we can, do great and mighty exploits. What
mm,
I'm doing in my life now, I feel that because I've sacrificed so much in this last 4 years, God is bringing me to a new place. There is a reward for me,
wow.
and so my desire is to build a kingdom business, to take from the world and to put it into the kingdom, and to
Mm,
help establish that here on the earth. I want to see heaven come down. And
wow.
so that takes so much. That picture that you posted for this podcast was actually the hardest. If you look into my eyes, it was the most crushing experience ever when I lost my business to about a year ago, 1 year ago. So that I had to close down my shop during COVID, and I spent everything that I had to make sure that we create something really great and awesome, and I could employ a lot of staff. I could support the farmers, because my idea was always to create source local sustainable product and sell them at wholesale prices. But unfortunately, that business didn't survive, and I suffered shame, and that photo represents the shame of being crushed, but also the beauty that will come out of that.
Sure.
Like a grape that's being crushed. We need to allow ourselves to go through the crushing process and not try and speed it up, because it's all part of our character, and God wants to form that character within us. And so what you see now and who I was before is 4 years ago is a different person when I started in my business. And my vision and my desire to help and my desire to see God's kingdom established is far greater than if I'd had that beautiful shop and everything went well, and it would have started and stopped there.
Beautiful, Ronel. I love, love, love what you are sharing with us. I mean, you talk about your business, and we're talking about sacred mothering here. How do you incorporate sacred mothering into your business? I can imagine, and maybe just take us a little bit more into what you do as a business. I can imagine, all that you're saying also reflecting or reflected in that.
Yes, I feel I had to become a mother at a very young age. I think even as young as maybe 13, 14, 15, taking care of my siblings, I felt that responsibility from that age. When I was 18, I was ready to adopt my first child. I worked in a community, and I saw this child, and I used to bring them into the office, and they had a bath there, and I used to bath the child, shave their hair, and I did crazy things. I worked for my mom, so it was okay in the office there. And so I said, Mom, this is the child I want to adopt. And so the heart that I had for, and still have for children and for young people. And so the business was a great opportunity for young people to establish themselves and to find sort of their way through life, and for me to empower them. And so, yeah, so I felt the responsibility as a mother to assist them. So a lot of, I don't know if you've seen this bag over here. Can you see it there? No? Now bring you something. So at the store, we used to teach them the skill to crochet. So they could learn how to make these beach bags or picnic baskets. And this they would do while they were waiting on a customer to come in. So the idea is to still incorporate this. The students earn while they learn. And this is one of the projects that we are embarking on. We can fill it with snacks. So it's a lovely gift that you could give to to people, to say happy birthday or whatever. So those are the type of things that we do, and even my own children. I feel that the reason why I wanted kids, and I only have two, is because I wanted to tip the scale of the darkness into the favor of the light. I wanted them to be equipped to take on the world, to be an influence, to be a force of good and light in this dark world. And so the way I raise my kids and the way I run my household and the business is everything has to work for the kingdom. If that's not the goal, the highest goal, then what is? What are we actually working and doing this for? What are you going to work every day for? What is, so I always tell my kids there's three reasons for living. If they want to know what is your purpose, the three things: you need to live for adventure. You need adventure in your life. So that requires taking risks. stepping out and doing something, you know,
Mm.
finding out what do you enjoy doing, what's your passion. I could do the crochet with my staff because it's something that eased my anxiety. Sometimes I had anxiety and it helped me to breathe as I was building this basket. And then the second thing, you need purpose. You need to
Mm.
find a way to give back. Even when you
Mm.
are hurting, as a mother, we always giving. And sometimes we
Mm.
feel we can't give anymore. But I love
Mm.
Joyce Myers, and when she says that if you are going through the hardest times, if you're going through the worst, the best way to overcome that is to do something good for someone else. And
Sure.
so we always have something to give, even when we feel we don't. So whether it's
Mm.
picking up the phone, phoning someone, sending them a text message, seeing something on social media and passing that on into their message feed, private, DM or whatever. And then the third thing, I said you need purpose, you need adventure, and you need responsibility.
Mm.
You need to be responsible for something and
Mm.
make a difference. So
Mm.
that ties together with purpose. But
Yeah.
I do think that our society lacks a sense of responsibility for someone else,
Mm.
helping, getting active. What you're doing right now, this has got can create such a great impact and help so many people get out from
Mm.
that pit of depression.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps.
Sure. That's truly powerful, Ronel, and well done on all the work that you're doing. I mean, I'm
Thank
super impressed by um, if we're not doing it for the kingdom, then why are we even doing it? And you actually, filtering that down to your children, that is absolutely amazing. Now, speaking of children, I know you've got a little girl and a boy. I think your girl is 10, you said.
Yes.
Tell me about mothering and sacred mothering in regards to you raising your own children, particularly your daughter. Um, who was Renelle when she was 10, and what kind of a young girl was she versus Ronelle, who's now a mother and sacred mothering a 10-year-old girl? What
Mm.
is the difference there in the young little girl there, but also in how you are showing up as a mother and doing it differently?
Yeah. When I was 10, I probably went to about 6 different schools by then. So I
Mm.
was moved around a lot to all the aunties, and wherever they could find me a place to stay. So I had to learn to be very adaptable. I couldn't be shy, even though I'm mostly an introvert, a shy person. I needed to learn to speak out and to be brave, at 10 years old, staying at different places. So
Mm.
I felt at that time obviously very lost. I didn't feel nurtured and taken care of,
Mm.
and abandoned. So
Mm.
it didn't sit well with me. Even until today, I still can't make that many friends. I feel like I'm a
Mm.
friendless person. and I thought it was me. I thought I wasn't liked. People wouldn't like me. And I felt like I had a learning disability, like that I couldn't
Mm.
learn. And so it left
Mm.
major scars. And now raising my 10-year-old, I
Mm.
I'm trying to become a good listener.
Mm.
So I believe that the best way to build a connection is to listen,
Mm.
to ask a few questions and really be present. And
Mm.
so that is what I do for my 10-year-old. They're very smart. They teach me more than I can teach them now. So,
No.
it's not it's not like back in the day where we could back chat our parents. Now they tell you, Mom, but this is the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a totally
Very.
different world, I must say, Ronel. And I mean, if you're going to do this mothering or parenting without God's grace and wisdom, you're bound to fail, because it's really become more harder, I must say. I feel like it's become more harder, but also more easier, if that makes sense. So there's sort of like a balance you need to find, but of course,
Yes.
um, all through God's grace and wisdom. Ronel,
Yes.
you spoke about um, you know, motivation versus inspiration. And I wrote it down here because that really stood out for me. And I think it's such an important aspect to talk about, because a lot of us are so tied or stuck in this place of wanting to constantly be motivated, but also seeking it even in church, where you go to a Sunday service, and it's almost like you are taking a drug, and then you go out, and then the problems
Mm.
are still waiting, and nothing has really changed. It's just been hyped up, and then you go back down again on a Monday to where you were before you entered church on a Sunday. So I mean, and I find that particularly in the month of August, where we celebrate women, of course, there's a lot of activity and a lot of events that are happening, mostly that are just motivational and have no depth, are not tangible enough to bring change and transformation. And you speak about motivation versus inspiration. If you can just touch a little bit more on that, tying it into this aspect of us celebrating women and in Women's Month and events that are taking place, what advice would you give women with regards to that?
So for me, a word that stands out is intentional, that you need to do things intentionally. And what we do as a family intentionally, we form habits.
Mm,
And habits will help you to stay motivated and and inspired. So find something, someone, a goal that's going to keep you inspired. Somebody that you can say, "Wow." People look at my household and they say, "Wow, I've never seen something like this before." So the way I run my household is very much like running my business,
mm,
where we have systems in place so that it takes me out of the equation so I can be more present for my children and I have the time to run a business. So
mm,
in the home, we have systems in place for making smoothies, for example. So the smoothies is great because you can pre-pack, all your fruit and veggies in freezer packs. Put them in the freezer so you can buy once for the whole month. And you
yeah,
can blend that up once every 2 or 3 days. You can blend one and make 2 liters of green smoothie every day.
mm,
It's cheaper. And so that's one system that we use that helps us to put the right fuel inside of us. So
yeah,
I believe that there's mind body connection. So giving myself the right fuel helps to create to helps me move forward and do the things that I need to do for my day. The
mm,
second thing is a food system. We need systems around what are the meals, like a meal plan, because these
mm,
are things that drain our energy, like practical. I'm talking about practical things
mm,
that will help you stay inspired.
mm,
So having a meal plan of sorts, or creating that, I prayed about this. That's why I can say
yeah,
God really answered my prayer, because I said, Lord, I want to be present for my children.
mm,
I have limited amount of time in a day. I can't be a housewife, a cook, and keep them healthy, and
mm,
and provide. So
yeah,
help me to find a way to do all of this, and at the same time that I also need to take care of myself, my body, my
that's right.
spirit. And so there, systems are very important. I feel that
Mm,
you can find put make a decision once in the week. It will save you 6 days worth of energy.
wow,
So if you take one day to make a decision for the whole week, like for example, just a smoothie, maybe start
wow,
with that, something attainable. You can go to fruit and veg, buy 400 rands worth of vegetables, fruits, like and also keep it simple. I only put 5 items in my smoothie. So it's
mm-hmm,
my spinach, my lemon, my if there's avo in season, I'll put avo in there. So citrus, right? And I like papaya because it's
mm,
vitamin C, which is very good,
yes,
and grapefruit. So a lot of
mm,
citrus. So if I can find those 5 items, put it into little packets. You can make a lead, get you a nice high-speed blender, any blender that can
yeah,
just mix that with some water every day. That's one set of something that's going to change your life.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
systems is what is going to help you to become more inspired by and to do more things because it's internal. So put things inside
Mm.
of you that's going to come out of you. That's what it
Wow.
is. Not taking something from outside. Oh, I need to put in the effort. Make the decision once. It's going to carry you through.
Shoo, that's deep. I've actually never heard of that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that wisdom on systems. Ladies, gents, if you are listening, systems. You need to make sure that there is a system flowing. She says she runs her household like she would her business. And I think it's really working for you because you remind me of the Proverbs 31 woman. And that just hit me as you were speaking. And I'm like, this is exactly what they talk about. She had systems and processes in her household. I mean, they spoke about her making, jerseys for her family, but there's also, maid servants that are busy doing exactly what she has told them to do. And then there's the husband talking about her, and she's busy, but she's got systems in place. There's things she does, there's things that she knows she must delegate. Her children are happy. The husband is also happy. So she's managing these, but through systems. I believe that's where you were taking us, Ronel.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And I think it gives you, God says, and I take him on his word literally. He says, you can live life the way I live it. That's how he said it. He said, you can
Mm,
have the Zoe life, life to its
mm,
full. And
mm,
so much of us are settling for less than what God is saying, I can give you. And so I had
mm,
to ask him. I wasn't in this position a few years ago. So I had to say, Lord,
mm,
what is the Zoe life? What is the life that you live? You said we could have that life. I want that life. And so he says,
mm.
then ask me for it. I said, I'll give it to me. And so now I
Wow,
feel that I'm living a more balanced life. I come home at a reasonable time. I also have to be disciplined to stop work when I need to stop, to start something when I need to start. And that also, like I said, it's just, yeah, just being disciplined, which is a big part of what we do as well.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, now you also touched earlier on how you spoke about how you received God as a mother versus how you would have received him as a father because of how you saw men and how controlling they are or were. And that is in context to where you were then. Um, Tell me what your experience and healing looked like from that. Like looking at men as controlling and everything, that, they were just too controlling, demanding, and just putting and imposing. And how you healed from that, but also, excuse me, relating that to how you met your husband or how you are also a wife, and how that perspective had to almost be rewired or changed in you, because I believe it at some point it had to be changed, and there was healing that took place. I find that a lot of women also have the same narrative or experienced it hard from the other gender, and so they see men from that aspect, and how does one navigate through?
For At the time when I met my husband, he wasn't a born again Christian, and we had a very difficult relationship to start with. And I I wasn't really walking the path myself, and I was enjoying dating and dating him. But then there came a time where he said he needs to leave for London and he's going to be there for 2 years. And it was very difficult. I thought I would go as well. But the what changed for me was the fact that it gave me that space and opportunity. I was just dating. I was just a teenager, so I didn't know what I was really getting involved in. So it was ebb and flow of finding my identity. And so when he left, the Lord really dealt with me with regards to
Mm,
who I am and what am I allowing, how am I allowing men to treat me.
mm,
And he reminded me of my value again. And so I think when I realized that, look, there's more that I want for my life. I was about 20, 21 years old. And I also want a good future. And I don't want to end up like most of my friends, pregnant or, or on drugs or whatever. I really wanted God to do something for me. And I didn't know what that was, what I wanted. But He then reminded me of who I am. And I actually just made a note here. And I think that everything stemmed from who I am. And and so God had to say, I am who I am. Like God says, this is who I am. You are a part of me. And you need to realize your worth and value, or else you're going to accept less than what you're actually worth. And that was a real change in my spirit. So when my husband finally came back, we weren't together. I was a single for about 2.5 years. I decided I don't want to date anyone. I want to go deeper with God, and I want to understand what it is that He has for me, for my future. And so he came back and he thought we could just pick up where we left off. And I said, no, buddy, that's not going to happen. And I said, I'm a born again Christian and I love Jesus, and I can't be with someone who doesn't love God. And that was really, we then separated for a long time. And then I got the call from him one day to say he wants to give his life to Jesus. And I thought, is this now a way to just get back to me? And I led him to Christ. And I said, look, I will be friends, but from a distance. You need to go to church. You need to get into a connect group. And from that day onwards, I actually led my husband to Christ. And it was significant in the way that we were friends after that. But it was an honest commitment from his side. So that was what happened, how that happened.
Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Tinashe Mujera, and I'm here to invite you to something truly special. Authentically Woman will be hosting a transformative webinar titled A Journey to Discovering You. This event is more than just a webinar. It's a healing circle where women of faith can come together to explore self-discovery through the lens of our Christian beliefs and teachings. We'll delve into what it means to truly know ourselves, guided by biblical wisdom and the love of our faith community. In these uncertain times, it is easy to lose sight of our true selves. But together, we can find our way back to the heart of who we are, rooted in God's love and purpose for us. This is an opportunity to reflect, to share, and grow in a safe and nurturing environment. I truly believe that when women of faith come together, miracles happen. So join us for an evening of connection, inspiration, and spiritual renewal. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery together and support one another. And we have something special just for you. We believe in the power of sisterhood, and we are offering a special promotion. Bring a sister along, and she can join in for free. Yes, I said it, for free. Simply use the code WOMAN777 when you book your tickets on Quicket. But hurry, because the offer is limited and spots are filling up. Hello, everybody. We are back. Some technical glitches happening today. I have no idea, Ronel. Thank you for being patient. I have no idea what the enemy is trying today, but we win still. We win still. Yes, so you were unpacking about how you met your husband and how you actually led him to Christ.
Yes. So that was so significant. I love telling that story because I feel that so many women have given up hope that there is a good man for them. I feel that people can change, but obviously it depends on the character, the person. But I don't think we should I think if we put God first, He will put our needs first too. And so I needed a husband. I wanted a husband at that time, and then I said, "Well, Lord, I'm going to wait on you." And when that phone call came, I thought, "Wow, look how great God is! That another person can be won for the kingdom, and is my husband here on earth." So it was a win-win.
Wow, beautiful, Ronel. I love what you just said. When we put God first, He also put our needs first. Seek ye
Yes.
first the kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added. I don't know if we have the patience you have, and I think it's in that we, a lot of people miss it as well. To say you were able to put your foot down and say, I don't care that you are from the United Kingdom. And I am saying,
Yeah.
I have given my life to Christ. Dude, you better make sure you make your life right with Christ if you want to be with me. And that's absolutely amazing. And I think that reflects your heart and your posture before God, and also represents your womanhood, and I guess translates into all that is happening in your life. Ronald, we're
Yes.
running out of time, and unfortunately today, I don't know what was happening with this tech, but we thank God we've had this beautiful session.
Mm. Oh,
We're
you're
back again. I
frozen.
think we had already
Okay.
had a glitch somewhere.
Yes. Can I end with a scripture that I
Yeah, I
feel
think
quite strongly about?
yes,
So the
yes,
scriptures
please.
in James 1, verse 2 to 4, and it says, "Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith, life, is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try and get, and this is the point, don't try and get out of anything prematurely. Let it do
Mm,
its work so you become mature and well developed, not
mm,
deficient in any way."
mm, 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 mm. Please unpack it for us, Pam. What is on
No,
your
so
heart about the scripture?
yes. So that scripture, I felt that it's a gift to go through tests and trials and challenges and not to get out of it prematurely. So some of us try and find our own solutions, our own way out. We try and find the man and change him. Only God can bring about the change. And so
Oh
if
wow.
we
Oh wow.
allow God to have his work or do the work in us, we will then be mature enough and we will lack no good thing. And that is the place where I'm at. I have many
Yes.
needs, but I lack no good thing. And like
Mm,
everyone else out there, I'm sure you have many
wow.
needs. And but if we can come to a
Mm,
place we say, "Wow, God, I'm so content that you are taking care of me.
mm,
You are working, even when I don't see it.
mm,
You're working, even when I don't feel it. You're working."
mm,
And I think that is an
mm,
important lesson for us to learn. God told me once, he said, you haven't suffered enough to the point where you were bleeding blood, like sweating blood. He says this is what Jesus had to he had to persevere and press through, and that's what he had to endure. And so
Mm,
when I go through tests and trials, I have to catch myself not to have a bad attitude because of it. I have to endure it. I have to bow my life,
yes,
under that pressure. And so I
sure.
want to encourage you that we are living in very, very dark and difficult times, and very soon Jesus will return. And I think
Mm,
all of us take heart, that this is only for a time, a short time, that we're going to be suffering. But soon we will see our King, the King of Kings, and our bridegroom, and it's going to be better than we ever thought.
wow. 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 Thank you, Ronel. Thank you, Ronel Prinsloo, for sharing your beautiful, beautiful wisdom, your heart with us tonight on the Faith in Action podcast. Like I said, we don't take it for granted. We are deeply honored by your wisdom, sis. And may God just continue to increase you, particularly in your business, even in your household and in your home. May everything just increase and flourish. And may your needs be met as you meet his needs, just like you've told us. Thank you for that beautiful scripture that you ended with. Today it's absolutely divine. And I mean, to all the listeners, to all that are watching, thank you for tuning in tonight. And you've heard it for yourselves. Ronel Prinsloo was our guest for tonight, and she was sharing on sacred mothering, understanding the mother side that God has for us, his loving nature, how he sacrifices for us. She speaks about making something out of nothing and using her own life testimony to bring that across, and how she really is, living out Proverbs 31 woman in her household, and how she runs her household, and how she runs her family and her business. And she talks about systems and systems and systems. I have been empowered. And I believe that all of you have also, been empowered and inspired, she said. She says not motivation. She says it's what you
You
put
need
on the inside
inspiration.
and how it
Yeah.
comes out on the outside.
Mm.
Ronel, thank you so, so much, sis. How can people get a hold of you if there's anybody that wants to gift a friend, family? How can they get hold of the Nuttery beautiful bag there with goodies inside, or is it a basket? Please tell us a little bit more, and then we will close off.
So they can check out our social feeds, the Nuttery SA, and that's Instagram and Facebook. They can also go online, www.thenuttery.co.za, and so there's various. We call them solutions, especially for businesses that want to either increase their sales, build client relationships, say thank you for business. And then they can also email us at sales@thenuttery.co.za if they want a personal touch with branding and that type of thing on their gifts. And yeah, there's also contact details online. So they're welcome to get hold of us.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all the information, sis. And we look forward to many orders coming through. We will also order. We will also order some gifts from you that are branded. So thank you once again for blessing us and gracing us with your presence tonight. And again, to all the listeners and to all that are watching the Faith in Action podcast, thank you for tuning in yet again. In another exciting episode. I believe that your lives will never be the same, and they've been transformed by the wisdom that we've received tonight. Again, tech was not on our side today, but we pulled through by God's grace. Until next time, it's goodbye for now. Thank you, Ronel.
Thank you.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Tinashe Mujera. I'm an author, I'm a marketplace professional, and I'm a woman of God. I am a representation of tested faith. I represent my healed wounds that left ugly scars. This is the Faith in Action podcast that has been created to help you find the journey to your true self through conversations and lessons shared.